Kadash. The double others possible teacher, great Muslim from learning the truth. I'll say shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. And I'm going to say in this on how Israelites come in all shapes and colors now. Because our people have been scattered to the four winds of the earth, four corners of the earth, all over the world, throughout every nation. It isn't just black only Israelites, and you have a lot. You got Jake that purposefully say that it's only about black Israelites. Now, I know there's a cult. I think there's at least one group that says that, but they're off. I think it's ISUBK that says that black only Israelites. We know there's at least one group that says that, but that's obviously off. Could be wrong about that. But over the years, I've heard, I don't really pay too much attention to these groups other than, the various stupid shit that they do throughout the week that gets highlighted. But I've seen at least one group over the years, maybe a few more that go into, black only Israelites and whatnot, which, it's all bullshit. But you have a lot of Jake that call themselves criticizing the Israelites. And, they say that we believe in certain things, which isn't true, which is in the scriptures. And a big reason of this is because of you have IUIC, ISUBK, those are the Sakari, bigger groups that are highlighted, which I believe IUIC is most popular among the people when it comes to Israelite groups, which is why you had that fucking clown. I'm not even going to say that Worm's name because he's not worthy to be mentioned. He's just another rich nigga. But that blonde hair clown making, trying to make fun of the Israelites weren't, parading around with purple, So you say, guys wearing purple, IUIC, it's the most popular among the common rabble of Israel. But it's not just about color. Now the only reason why we bring up color and why color is mentioned in the scriptures is because of what the so-called white man did, which he got First Maccabees, I think it's 3:18, and mentioned how and laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen sought to paint their image, Job 9:24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. And once again, when you have iconoclasm on white supremacy, manifest destiny, which there are two parts of manifest destiny. But so-called white man put himself up as God. He put himself up as the holy people. He put himself up as the angels. That's why color is a factor in our doctrine. Though it's not necessarily a big one. But it is it's not it's not something that we constantly fucking break down and go there's plenty of other stuff to go into, I guess I would say it's a sizable factor. But it's not it's not something that we go in over and over again, like the names, right? Or prophecy. But it is part of prophecy. But James 1:1, because our people are scattered to the four winds of the earth. And what happens when you have an apple seed that you get out of America and you plant it in China? It's the seed, the core of its being is an apple. It descended from an apple. But because it grew up within the soils of China, within this climate, it's going to take on the appearance of a Chinese apple or whatnot. I'm not sure if those apples look different, but there's a shit ton of variation of apples that originate from different places. But you get the gist. And what the men of our nation, they like heathen women. We like heathen women. King Solomon is an example of that. King David's grandmother Ruth was Ruth, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is Moabite. But an Israelite descent came out of that womb, because the seed that was implanted in that womb is an Israelite, and that's why it looked like the heathen. Because what are people going into captivity and slavery all over the fucking world? And what do Israelites like to do? They have sex, procreate, and bring forth children. Those children take on the appearances of heathens. Yeah, Cornelius, right? As an example. Hell, the New Testament. You had the whole thing with the Gentiles. You had Jake that knew that they were Jake, were being assholes and denying the Israelite Gentiles, and they knew that they were Israelite Gentiles, but they said fuck it. And one, and so you had you had apostles that went to the Gentiles. The woman at the well, she was a Gentile. The Syrophoenician, the Syrophoenician woman, she was a Jake. Two examples off the top of my head. James the servant, Yahweh, Yahweh, Mashiach, 2:12. Tribes were scattered. I'm driving, so it's like the brother pauses. The 12 tribes scattered abroad. Reading. 12 tribes scattered abroad. Where? Scattered abroad throughout the heathen nations. And diaspora. Part of the curse. We would serve in the land of our enemies. There's another one how we be scattered. Part of the curse is also being scattered, and you have I think it's mentioned in Ezekiel how Lord is going to gather them from the nations whither they be scattered. So once again, it's not just black only. There's Jakes that come in all. That's why we have Jakes that Issachar. We have Jakes that look like Edomites in camp. In camps. Jake's, I think it was the other across the heart and mentioned how you have is a Jake in fucking I think in the Philippines, in Japan, teaching in Japanese, teaching the name in Japanese, and that's just, and like those are just teachers, For all we know, there could be tons of other people or tons of other Jakes that are listening and may not necessarily be saying anything. But you have camps set up literally all over the world. This isn't, this isn't like this is a basic, common sense type of thing. And the scriptures talk about how pretty much every nation under the earth had its hands on our people. So once again, being under these heathen laws, being under the heathen, what's something that happened? You got along with the heathen. You operated under their laws. The men got together with their women, and vice versa with the women with the heathen men, which isn't something they're supposed to do, because that brings forth heathen. But it's something that was done. Our people, always intermingle with heathen. Now, like what? Example, passport bros. Who mainly are passport bros? Jake, who either got fed up with the women over here, or you already know, dropping money on $45 over at Philippines for whatever reason. You got Jake that goes Jake traveling all throughout the world, busting down, heathen women, traveling in other nations. John 7:35. Just a piece of proof that our people have always intermingled with heathen. Especially the men. Always like heathen women. King Solomon, an example of that. said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles? And they knew that Jake was scattered among the heathen, and that came from the Hellenization of Alexander the Greek. Where he took our people into captivity. You had Antiochus really laid that shit down fucking heavy. Antiochus Epiphanes really laid that shit down fucking heavy. But even before then, our people, they clung onto the Greeks, and then as time went on, we end up in the Roman Empire, mingled with our people, teaching their children the Greek way and whatnot, and went on down to the Roman Empire. Came up in Greek, in Greekish fashion, but they were Jake. And you had the Pharisees that knew that, but they were still assholes. And here, this is an acknowledgement. We go to disperse among the Gentiles. They didn't say the Gentiles. Now, there's times when they would say the Gentiles, but they knew what they meant. But specifically here, it says dispersed among the Gentiles, to show you that they knew that Jake was scattered among the heathen. Once again, what happens when Jake is scattered among the heathen? He busts down heathen women, and he brings forth Israelite children that look like heathen women. Oh shit. And when you go into dispersed, pretty much, is like scattered, But that was really the main scripture I want to get, because like I said, it's common sense, and I'm going to get this. I think it's in Ezekiel. Okay. Yeah. Jeremiah 30:11. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee. You know what? Nope. Well, yeah, it says right there that though I make a full end of nations, whither I have scattered thee. Yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. Verse Ezekiel 6:8. Yet will I leave a remnant, that they may come, that they may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations, where they be scattered through the countries. Deuteronomy 30:3. Then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee. So once again, color is only a factor because the so-called white man made it a fucking thing. He went around fucking iconoclasming. That's not correct grammar, but you know what I mean. The entire world. So now that's why you have Revelation. Things have to be set straight. The color, the appearance of the Lord is in the scriptures, right? It has to be there, because what this nigga did. And if he's a dark-skinned man, what the fuck do you think his people look like? They're dark-skinned people, and mind you, everybody in the ancient world had some type of melanin, until the so-called white man that go around and fucked every damn body and lighten up the whole world. Gave everybody leprosy. So everybody had melanin. The Lord is he's not fucking white. Everybody had melanin. And well, except for, Cain and Esau. But outside of that, everybody, Moabites had melanin. There's old pictures of that. But, it's not just, obviously, they know this, but they're just being assholes. It's not only about fucking color, but it's a factor. Like I repeat myself like 5 fucking times already. But yeah, it's pretty much a simple thing. It's fucking it's and once again, these niggas are being assholes by purposefully not acknowledging that, because we make it clear how it's a factor, but it's not the main thing. In order to be saved, you have to be an Israelite. You have Edomites going to the whole thing that look like Israelites. I think Frederick Douglass is an Edomite. His father was a white man. But you have you have Edomites that look like Jake, but they're really Edomite. The spirit, their seed, the line that they come from is Esau. The Lord talks about your spirit, looking on it inwardly, Lineage is a factor. Skin color is a factor, but lineage, who do you descend from? That, obviously predestination, but as far as nation-wise, that determines who's going to be saved, who you come from. Because you have Jake that look like Edomites, but their forefather was some warrior dude. There was some Jake that was cut niggas in half and shit. It was a Jake. But then you'll have some guy that looks like a Jake, but this nigga over here fucking torturing cats. The nigga fucking, he's an emo. The nigga can't fucking dance. Not to say if you can't dance, you know what I mean. Not to say if you can't dance, you ain't being saved. But, he got that spirit of Esau, no rhythm. He got that spirit of E on him. He's not a Jake just because he looks like one. But hope that was clear. Hope it all made sense. So all praises going on to Yahweh Bashim Ashah Bashim Gakadash. The Ron said others possible and teach great middle something and shoot Shalom to hope like Israel and shut battle on Great America.